I've seen all good people now. Isn't everyone born, in a sense, as a good person? I know that some babies are colicky and cry a lot and things like that. I know that we're not all born perfect. Some have deficiencies. But basically, I think that we can agree that babies are sweet and represent a newness to life, like the blossoming of a flower, the ripening of a fruit. This is what I'm referring to when I say this. As we grow, then there are more catalysts that are working beyond the basic evolutionary DNA that forms us in our mother's womb. Things from one's family, one's environment, one's friends or enemies. And these are all reflected in the way one grows up. So things change, of course. But in this humble beginning, we all share. I've seen all good people now. It's a nice thought. And it's a thought of understanding and compassion and empathy, kindness, generosity. So these virtues are worthwhile considering to acquire and to expand if you already have them, to deepen them, to become more aware. It is what we all need. There's a saying that's very old. I've been thinking about it this morning. So shall you reap what you sow. It was appropriate for Zoran the gardener to be thinking about this. Yes, seeds. Seeds are sown in the ground, or seeds are sown in one's mind. What kinds of seeds are these that we're talking about? Ideas, concepts, visual images, conversations, actions, activities. If we view our world dispassionately as a witness, objective, non-biased, let's say that we're on the moon and we're looking at our Earth. And we have telescopes so we can see it more clearly. Still quite a distance, right? And we're looking upon this planet Earth and we're deciding on what its characteristics are of its people, of the animals that are inhabiting this planet. What do we see? What are we thinking about? And this is our food of thought today. And beginning, let's finding, if not already found, a comfortable posture where when one is not disturbed, so that we can focus adequately on our subject matter. And becoming more aware, as we're aware of our posture and how it is pleasing or unpleasing, or how we're comfortable or we feel we need to fidget and change it a little bit. Doing what we need to do. Maybe one wants to put something underneath the rear of their tail, so our coccyx vertebrae, so that we are sitting in an upright manner. Tongues secured to the roof of our mouths, the palate of our mouth behind our front teeth. Eyes open or closed. I recommend closing them. Chin neutral, that we don't disturb our windpipe's ability to take in and to give out oxygen or carbon dioxide from our lungs. Just being relaxed, being at ease, making an effort not to take things for granted, but to become more aware, to be a receptive, to that which we are, an animal, Homo sapien. I know that a great many have spent a great deal of time and effort in differentiating us from the other species upon our world. I remember growing up, I was told that animals don't think, just human beings. That's a crock. I mean, really? That's what you want to believe? That's what you want to think? Does that make you feel better? Thinking about this for a moment or two, and maybe write a note to yourself to think about what we eat, what we consume. So, non-thinkingly, dare say, I think 100,000 years ago, which is not a very long time ago, different species, different groups, tribes, might find each other as a tasty treat, or as a means of just surviving in an environment where we really had very little control. You ate what you could find. We're scavengers. So cannibalism is not beyond the thought of the realm of possibility for mankind. I'm just saying, to be open-minded, to be receptive, to having a sense of understanding and empathy for the past, of what can be in the future, and where we are now. Comfortably postured, yes. Undisturbed, good. Thinking about our physiology, yes. Feeling the heat emanating from one's body. Perhaps you're clothed, and you can feel this heat being stopped by the clothing that one wears and nestling around your own skin. So there's a sense of warmth. Or maybe not. Part of you is exposed, if not all. And you feel the currents of air in the room or the place, the location that you are in. Listening intently, feeling the same. What do you hear in your ears besides my voice? Is there an ambiance of energy, a potential one becomes aware of the universe, of the primordial energy that creates everything, one's godliness? Because this is one way of looking at it, that this is what it is. Everything. Remember, things are not created or destroyed. They are changed. They are transmuted. So science says. So everything that is of this primordial energy. The stars, the planets, and everything else. The fish, the plants, the trees, the birds, the animals, the insects, you and me. We all are this energy. People speak of the oneness. There you go. That was easy. Simple. The truth is usually simple. It's not complicated. Just makes sense. What else are we noticing about ourselves as we are comfortably postured? Calm. Feeling a sense of peace. Our chests are rising and subsiding with inhales and pauses and exhales and pauses. Again and again and again. 15, 20,000 times a day. And what else do we notice? Maybe putting one's fingers together, thumbs, palms, and pressing gently, and feeling not only the warmth being generated by one's own being, but the pulse underneath. It is the pulse that brings the warmth with it from your torso. The activity of your lungs and your heart's muscles doing their processing generates the thermal energy that we're talking about right now. Remembering, being open-minded, being receptive and accepting of what is. If you're not sure, that's fine. I am not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to investigate for oneself. I'm not asking you to have faith in what I'm saying. I'm asking you to be mindful and determine what you wish to believe in. What is a truth for you? So between these hands that we have nestled together, do you feel the pulse? Again, I ask you, do you feel it in other locations? Do you feel your heart's beating in your chest? Do you feel it perhaps in your other extremities, in your legs or your toes or your feet or your head? Can you feel your pulse behind your eyes or your cheeks? What do you think? What are we doing? We're alive. All these processes are going on. Respiration and circulation are precious and very much necessary for our moment-to-moment existence. We're just witnessing this without bias, as an observer, contemplating what this means. So these are tools we can use to help calm our active minds. We are focusing and concentrating on these simple things. They're not simple, actually, but in a sense they are. Our respiration, our breathing, our circulation, our heart squeezing, our thermal energy resulting from these two, and last but not least, one's vibration. You know you vibrate, yes? Of course. Energy, part of each cell of 30 trillion cells in one's body. One's shimmering majesty, one's being alive. Finding this, it is beneath one's pulse. Why do we need to look for these things, you ask? Because we take this for granted. When you breathe 15 or 20,000 times and you pulse around 90,000 times and you shimmer continuously, then there comes a point when they're just taken for granted. They are forgotten. They are relegated to one's autonomic nervous system, as we like to call it. And yet, in mindful meditation, they are important to notice. A source of strength, of concentration, of focus, of continuity, of flowing potential. This is what we're doing, reaping what we're sowing. We're sowing a self-investigation for self-improvement. And we're reaping an opportunity to seek out virtuosity, character, qualities for self-improvement, for self-knowledge. We need to be aware of what we're seeing when we're standing on the moon looking at the Earth with our telescopes. We need to understand In many ways, mankind is very childish, very immature. Look at all the wars. Look at all the violence that is portrayed in movies, in conversations, in the actual goings on, in many different places, simultaneously today. Look at our past. It is not so long ago when we were doing terrible things to each other, and we still are. We need to wise up. We have begun to grow, no question. There is hope stirring in the hearts and souls of mankind. But we need to be objective and non-biased and see what there is to see. We need to be receptive and open-minded to what we're viewing, being honest and authentic and sincere, seeking change, self-improvement, mindfully pursuing our evolution to become adults, to be more mature, to be wiser, to seek self-improvement and characters, virtues that are worthwhile, that have a positive inclination rather than negative. Food for thought. Have a nice day. Namaste.